Hi, everybody. Hello over there in social media land. Hello. Hi, everybody. We are here again in another episode of the Question Live Show. It is midweek. Yes, indeed. It is midweek. It is Wednesday plus Thursday because somewhere along the line, it is a Thursday morning. It is Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, Wednesday afternoon, but it is Thursday morning somewhere. Yes, indeed. And because it is Thursday morning somewhere, listen, it's like buy one, get one free, right? God is so good. God allows us to have 2 days for the price of one. Lord of mercy. You know that's overtime working. You know what I'm saying? That's time and a half. If you have a regular job, you know what a time and a half is. If you're working overtime, you know what that is. Sometimes we work overtime for specific reason. We work overtime mostly so we could get extra money, so we can take care of our responsibility. So when we put in our overtime, Lord knows it better worth it, right? So when God put in overtime and God like, listen, I'll give you 2 countries, 3 countries, 4. God is like, I'm giving you time. Overtime? Well, maybe God is working overtime. I think God is working overtime on my behalf. What do you think? If God is working overtime on your behalf, hey, by all means, let us know because I believe God is working overtime on my behalf. And I'm just going to sit, look cute, and say, hey, God, go ahead, do your thing. Whatever you do, you will do it because whatever you does is best. All that God be doing for me is best indeed. I will not complain. No, absolutely not. So listen, welcome to another episode of the Question Live Show with your one and only, your host, Verona Willis-Brown. It's right there, Verona Willis-Brown, your host. Listen here, we are coming in here where we empower, we inspire, and we support each other. This is a platform. It is a teaching platform where we become students and teachers at the same time. So when we show up, we are showing up with the intention to take action to fulfill our expectation, our goals, our dreams, our vision, and our purpose, just to reach our destiny. And that is a whole point, right? If we are not fulfilling our purpose, we are going to the grave and fill up the grave so the grave could be rich and rich and rich and wealthy with all our goodness, all our greatness that is inside of us. We should not be burying it. We should even work overtime to impact somebody else's life. We should work overtime to inspire somebody. So when we are going to talk about overtime tonight's topic, let's talk about what are we doing with our overtime. Right now, honey, we are on overtime. Yep. We are literally living on overtime. I try to tell them like, yep, I'm on borrowed time. Mm-hmm. Borrowed time simply mean that you are getting extra time, extra time, extra days. And what are we doing with these extra days? These are overtime. These are got like I'm putting in overtime because I see you got a little intention. I see you got something else brewing. So because I personally have a lot of things brewing, I like God, can you give me some extra time up in here, up in here? I would like to meet more people. I would like to give more, go more places. I would like to impact more lives. I would like to inspire one more person. So yes, indeed, I'm like God, work overtime on my behalf. I want to get some overtime in, okay? Overtime so I could go and drop some nuggets somewhere else. I want to have overtime so we can expand the support system that we have here, right? So this support system is all about us working together. When we work together, when we work together, we will have a better world. It is just a solid statement that we bring here. We want to raise the level of consciousness in one and all. If you are tuning in live or replay, it doesn't matter. Once you're on this channel, we have a purpose here, and that is to raise the level of consciousness when it comes to supporting each other. We need each other. Whichever way we look at it, we need each other. So I ask you to come on in here. When you come on in here, just to let me know that you are here by putting your hand, waving your hand. let me acknowledge you and acknowledge your presence. Oftentimes we go through life and we don't get acknowledged, but here I'm telling you, I see you. I see. So that is just waving your hand and let me know that you are present. Sometimes people come on in here and they just sit in the back and they speak on in. And I tell you, I appreciate you just the same, but I don't like when you just peep on through the window or try to like be like a little peeping Tom. But I like when you come on in here and I welcome you and show you love because that's what we do here. We come on in here as students and teachers at the same time. So what will happen? We will learn and grow together. That is a form of support. So if this is your first time, okay. If this is your first time tuning in, I mean, absolutely your first time tuning in. You never been here before. You just never heard of the Question Live Show. You never heard of Verona Willis-Brown. I want to say to you, welcome. Welcome into this platform. Welcome into this space. Hold on one moment. Welcome into this space because here we like to talk to each other. This is not a monologue, okay? This is a dialogue between you and I. So if this is your first time, I mean, absolutely your first time tuning in, I would like to welcome you with open arms. So let me know that it is your first time by typing in the comment section that it is your first time. Even wave your hand. I'm like, first time, because first time you get all the goodies, okay? You get all the attention, you get all the goodies. Why? Because let me tell you something. I would like to introduce. First, let me introduce myself to the first timers. First timers, my name is Verona Willis-Brown. It is written right there. I am your host. But a little bit beside me being your host, let me talk a little bit about who I am. A little bit about me. I am a native of the most beautiful place in the world. I mean, absolutely the most beautiful place in the world. If you don't know where it is, come on in, come closer. Let me tell you, it is the one and only, the most beautiful place. With the most beautiful flag, it is Jamaica. Now, listen to me. If you're not from Jamaica, you don't have no form of Jamaica DNA in your system, because I believe everybody have a little dot, even a dot of DNA of Jamaica in their system. If you are tuning in and you don't have no DNA going through, no bloodline going through your blood as a Jamaican, let me tell you right about now. And if you don't have no Jamaican friends, right about now, let me tell you something. This is the moment of truth. This is a moment of truth because I asked you if you have any DNA of a Jamaican in there. No, right now is your time to find yourself a Jamaican friend, be close to a Jamaican, and then you can arrange with me so we could arrange a trip to Jamaica, right? Because now you are part of the family and I welcome you in. So another thing I want to say is about me. I am from a farmer's background. I mean, farmer's background, literally grew up on the farm. Born where I could reach a fruit or dig a food out of the ground, see the cows, the goat, the rabbit, the chicken, and so forth on the farm. Fertile ground. I grew up watching my parents. I watched my parents plant a seed, a grain, and watch it flourish. Why? Because it was planted in fertile ground. And I watched my mama cook up some good food. I watched her plant some lovely flowers. I enjoy the fact that I was on a farm, right? So it is a beautiful thing. So oftentimes you come here, if this is your first time, then listen, this is for the first timers. When you come here, I am going to be talking about the farm. I'm going to be talking about the farm because what happened? Usually I will take the analogy of planting a seed and bring it here to go according to the topic or the content that I apply here. And when I do that is because in life, every single thing that we do, it is about planting a seed of faith. You see, it says, a mustard seed. Everything is about planting a seed or a grain. And it's about everything that we plant, there is a result for it. So whatever you plant, it is going to do what? It's going to spring up, it's going to grow. And if you keep on fertilizing it, keep on springing it up, keep on sprouting it, keep maintaining it, it's going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And what happens? Most of the time, if it is a fruit, it is going to be a fruit. If it's a fruit tree, it's going to be a fruit. You see, my daddy, my mommy, they planted a seed. And that seed grew up bearing fruits. And that seed is me. Yes, they planted a seed. Y'all know the story about conception. If you don't know, this is your time to go find out. Conception is a seed. Ding, 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 ding. Boom. And voila, here I am in my beautiful self. Yep, indeed. So they planted a seed. They on fertile ground. Something was fertilization on it. So I told you it's the same thing as planting a seed on a fertile ground. When you plant a seed, something is going to spring up. Another thing I want to tell you about my parents, they had a lot of children. Huge amount of children. Huge amount of children, like more than this. Yes, they had a lot of children, huge. So when you come on in here as a first timer, you are now a part of my family. Yep, I now adopted you as part of my family. You are my sister and my brother. You are now an additional member. You are now the newbie of this family. And because you are the newbie of the family, you get all the attention, baby. It's just like having a newborn baby. All the attention goes to that newborn. You get all the love and the snuggle, all of that goes to you. So if this is your first time, guess what happened? You are in for a treat. Yes, you are in for a treat. And when you're in for a treat, honey, don't forget to share with somebody else. Right. Now, if this is not your first time, I mean, absolutely not your first time. You've been here second, third, fourth, fifth, anytime after the first. That simply means you are a returning audience member. If you are a returning audience, I like to say, welcome, welcome. Right. Because when you show up, I show up. And what happened? We show up together and we ignite our greatness and we build up a great galaxy of greatness. Yes, great love, great intention, great everything. Because what? We are now working together. And that is the whole point of us here, to work together. Now, whether you are new or you are a returning audience, this goes for either one of you, for both of you, yeah, for both of you. Okay? This is saying that we are all on this journey called life. Yes, indeed, we are all on this journey called life. And let me tell you, on that journey, there are paths. And those paths go to cross somewhere along the line. I'm going to cross paths with you. You're going to cross paths with me. If not me, then somebody else. Why? Because the population is so big that we are going to cross paths. But each time we cross paths with somebody, it is an opportunity to make an impact. It is an opportunity to follow your art and love on them. It is an opportunity to inspire, to encourage them, because motivation is about individual moving themselves out of a space, whether mentally or physically. But when we inspire somebody, we are giving them that drive to motivate themselves. So let me tell you something here, because we are all on this journey called life. Everybody, I mean, absolutely everybody. If you did not just born in this very moment, everybody wants to succeed. And believe me, the baby that was born right now came in with an intention to succeed. That's the reason why they're here. Everybody wants to succeed. Everybody wants to have a success story. And because that is so, everybody's story is different. No two people's stories alike. You might have similarities of what you went through, but everybody's story is personalized. So guess what's going to happen? I'm going to inform you or remind you of something. Nobody can succeed by themselves. Absolutely not. Nobody cannot succeed by themselves. Whether you are the prime minister, the president, the vice president, the governor, the mayor, the teacher, the student, the lawyer, the doctor, patient, whoever you are, whatever position you're in right now, you didn't get there by yourself. And whatever position you're going after, you can't get there by yourself. So the silent message right here today is to let you know that we need each other. Yes, we do. We need each other. Success can only be defined by us working together. So whether you define success by having the vast amount of wealth or materialistic things, guess what happened? You might want to do a check-in that you did not get all of that by yourself. Mm-mm. And for you to maintain that, you can't get it by yourself either. No. So let me tell you something. This is what we are here for. For you to come on in here, I come on in here, we come on in here together and we support each other. The more we support each other, the stronger we will be. And when we are stronger, we will grow more powerful because where energy goes, energy grows. So that is our whole point of coming here. So we can do this together. Good. Now listen to me. I want to welcome you once more. But I want to say this right here, right now, before we get any further, that I use the F word over here. If you don't want to hear the F word, then right now is your chance to go back through the door. Don't go to the window, go through the door. Because I choose to use 3 F words over here. Three, absolutely three. Whichever one you use, that's up to you. But I use three. And they're very, very simple. If you get offended by them, hey, that is on you. Okay, now you're in my home. Grab a seat right there. The sofa is right there. The sofa is empty. Grab yourself a seat. And if you want to sit around the piano, then that's fine too. Just grab yourself somewhere to sit down because we are going to talk about it. Yes, we are. Because let me tell you something. The F word that I use here is faith, family, and fun. The three: faith, family, and fun. If you want to double them, whatever the case is, multiply them. Yes, indeed. Because the first one is faith. It's the faith that I have in God that allowed me to be your host today. Yes, because I started this out on a very shaky faith, honey. Faith can be shaky, faith can be stabilized. Whichever way you look at it, faith, just faith. And I was like, don't fake your faith. Okay, just come on up in here. If your faith is shaky, you might get a little juicy right now to build up that faith because we are going to work with the faith that we have. We are going to develop it and we are going to grow into beautiful beings. You might not become a show host, but you might become a published author. You might just become a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief, even the sweeper of the supermarket, whatever it is. You might just become a farmer, whatever the case is. We need some faith. So we're going to pour a little bit of faith up in you. Now let's get to the second word, which is family. You heard me. If you came in early, which you should have, come in early up in here and you'll hear what we're talking about. I talk about my family and I talk about how huge of a family I have. Huge. So they get huger as the minute, okay? We get huger. So when you come on in, yes, huger is a word because it came to me as a word. If you come on in here, then my family just got expanded, right? So I talk about my family. And the reason why I'm going to talk about my family again, because I want you to come a little bit closer. Because I do have the permission to talk about my family. Yes, I do. I have the permission to talk about my family anytime, any day, any hour, what, when. Okay? And the first thing I'm going to talk about my family is because we have birthdays every single month. Yes, we do. We got birthdays every single month. Literally from January 1st all the way to December, we got a birthday in the month every single month. So anybody in my family right now that's celebrating birthdays, I say shout out to you because I ain't calling no name because ain't nobody gonna call me to tell me, excuse me, you forgot my birthday. Nope, no, no. So anybody out there that's celebrating birthday, I say happy birthday to you. Mhm. Right? We like to celebrate up in here. It's a form of support. When we celebrate each other, it is a form of support. Because it is written that we must be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. It is because of our gift and our talent that we use to replenish the earth. It is nothing else. I mean, yeah, it could be something else, biological children. Because I think that's the first interpretation that I got when I heard the scripture says, be fruitful and multiply. Have babies, have babies. Maybe that's what my parents did. They read the scripture, and the scripture said, be fruitful and multiply. And they did. And they replenished the earth with some children. Okay? But let me tell you something. Come on in here is a form of support. And I celebrate you when you come on in here. Good. So here, as we talk about celebrate, we celebrate birthdays, anniversary, boo's birthday, children's birthday, neighbor's birthday, teacher's birthday, somebody's birthday. We celebrate all of that. We celebrate anniversary. And we celebrate if you found that you're having a baby, you had a baby, you got married, you got proposed to, you met a boo. Hey, you develop yourself a little bit more. You went back to school, the children went to school, the children started school, your children had a milestone. We celebrate you up in here. Maybe your country is celebrating something, your culture is celebrating something. We do all that celebration up in here. So whatever it is that you have, you accomplish something for that's for. In September, we're in the 11th day of September and 11, 12 days because it's buy one, get one free days. If you have achieved something thus far and you would like for us to celebrate you, put it in the comment section so we could celebrate you. It is a form of support. When we support each other, we are better. Okay? I can't say this anymore. When we support each other, we give more energy to each other. It's like putting a car and a gasoline. We're adding fuel to each other. So whatever it is that you would like to celebrate, please put in the comment section. So what? We celebrate with you. And the next word is as small as fun. Yes, we do like to have fun up in here. We get some party going. We celebrate. We do a lot of things up in here. But let me tell you something about celebrating. I don't celebrate by myself because I have a cheerleading squad. And the cheerleading squad celebrate those who come in for the first time as well. So listen to me. I have a cheerleading squad, so I welcome you to come on in here. Drop that is that which you have to celebrate. So my cheerleading squad could celebrate with you. Yeah, my hands can't do all the cheering, so I have a cheerleading squad right here. So goody, good, good, good. Tonight we are going to talk about overtime. What is overtime that we are going to talk about? Let's jump right into it because it is Wednesday, Thursday, and it's buy one, get one free. Anybody outside shopping? If you are outside shopping anywhere, hello. It should be buy one, get one free. But before I go into tonight's topic that says overtime, I want to go into the audience and I would like to welcome those who are in the audience. And we say, welcome to our VIP. VIP. Yes, we do have a word over here. It's VIP Cheryl. We want to say to you, welcome, welcome, welcome to this episode of the Question Live Show. Cheryl is a VIP. Why Cheryl a VIP? Because she earned the spot of a VIP. How did she earn the spot? Because what? She had an intention. And not only she had an intention, she had an expectation. And not only she had an intention and expectation, she showed up. And when she showed up, she took action. So we would like to say to you, Cheryl, thank you. Oh, not you. Thank you for showing up. She is VIP, Cheryl, VIP, Cheryl. Oh, I think I spelled your name wrong, Cheryl, but that's okay. We apologize for that. And we say, welcome, welcome to VIP, Cheryl. Yes, indeed. Did y'all know that Cheryl is a first-time author? I did put up her. I told you have to come in early, people, When you come in early, we start at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every night almost, because our summer schedule being so up and down, because we've been doing a lot of things going on for the summer. And if you've been watching the channel, you see that I keep on putting highlights on the very things that we've been doing for the summer. So our summer schedule been going up, down. So we have not been very consistent in the summer schedule. But our normal schedule will resume very soon. And that is from Tuesday to Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. So when you come on in here, you will find us here at 7 p.m. Adjust your clock to match our clock, and we work it out together, right? So if you're just waking up, maybe you're getting ready to go to work, school, or just having some wake up time, we are over here. So come on in the room. So again, I was talking about Cheryl Dade is a first timer author. Yes, indeed. And this is her book, right? This is her book, If I Were an Octopus. It is a children's book. So if you got children out there and you would like to introduce them to the book, which I recommend you do, get this copy of this book. Get a copy of this book. It is available on Amazon. You can't miss it. You can't miss the name. This is her name right there. You see her name right there. So if you don't remember the name of the book, type in her name right there and you will see the book nicely looking at you. Say, hello, Mr. Octopus or Mrs. Octopus. Right. Grab it up and honey, that's what we do. It is called supporting each other. So I try to let y'all know, come on in here. This is what we do up in here, up in here. We support each other. We pop your merchandise. And sometimes on Saturday we have small business Saturday. And we say bring in your items and we promote your item as well. Right? So that's what support is all about. I strongly stand and support. I strongly stand that anywhere that I show up with the intention to support you. One way or the other, if I can't physically support you, I'm going to search out, see who can help you, right? Because I do have a magnet for information. So whatever way, if I say support, that don't always mean me physically. That's what I mean. That support is somewhere, and I'm going to get the information and I'm going to share it with you. So again, I want to say that's Cheryl's book. It is on Amazon. Again, if you don't remember the name of the book, this is her name. Good. She said free advertisement. Yes, 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 yes. So listen to me today. Listen to me. We are talking about overtime. Overtime. Oh my goodness. The moment if you are a working class citizen, if you've been working, if you have ever worked anywhere, you hear this term before. If you have not heard this term before, overtime, then you might want to check in somewhere, check in with your job. So if you have a regular job, you're going to hear overtime. Why? At most time, it is a supervisor, manager, somebody high up who said, we are offering overtime, or you might be the one who said, can I work overtime? When we work overtime, what is it that we are doing? We are gathering more wealth to add on to our responsibility, to help with the responsibility that we have. So we gather more, we work more time, and we expect more money, right? So anything that I say that resonate with you, you can put yes in the comment section. So when we work more time, we want to expect more money. So when we work overtime, we expect to get more money to match the overtime. If your regular pay goes at this and you work overtime, it might increase a little bit more because by the time they take out tax and all that stuff, oh my goodness, it's like it did not move. So me personally, overtime is not a part of my schedule. Oh my goodness, if you call my job right now, they're like, Verona probably the only one that don't work overtime here, right? Yeah, if you call my job right now, yeah, they probably tell you that because overtime for me is like, no, no. Because I look at it this way that whenever I invest in something, I expect to reap something, right? So if I'm investing a lot and I'm reaping a cat, it's not worth my time. You got to know what's worth your time. Because if something is not worth your time, why invest in it? Okay? I like when I invest in you because it's worth my time. I like when I share things with you because it's worth my time. And when I invest, I need to see some form of productivity coming back. Don't let me work 10, 15 hours overtime and I only look and I got this much of payment. No, that is not balanced. We want to have a balance. So our time is very important. So when we put in that time, that's mean we are going over our normal routine. We are going over our normal work schedule. We're going over our normal energy, whether not mentally or physical. We are going over something. So we got to be careful of how we are going over time. Sometimes we are going overtime in speeding. And we talk about this when we're going overtime in speeding, we might not get a good end result, right? We want to get a great return on your investment. That is it. That is it right there. That is the pointer right there. Because if I'm investing something, especially my time, because let me tell you something, Chef, you can't get back time. You cannot get back time. Time is something that you invest that you can never get back. But you should see some form of return on it. You should see some form of investment happening from it. So if I invested 1 hour with you and maybe the next 10 years, something should be producing from that 10 years, from that investment. Do not take anybody's time for granted. Do not take people time for granted because when I invest in you, whether 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes to 1 hour, if I invested in you, do not take it for granted because what I expect you to just give me back something. But somewhere along the line, there got to be some productivity of what I invest because everything I invested, I find that mutual ground, I find that fertile ground just like my parents did. They're like, hey, I need to plant some corn. They find a fertile ground to plant that grain of salt, grain of corn. So if I invested in you, somewhere along the line, there gotta be some form of result. I only invest good stuff. So if I invest goodness in you, I expect you to produce goodness. I'm just saying. So please don't take people time for granted because they cannot get it back. If I invest 5 years with you, honey, give me back something. If I invest 5 minutes, give me back something. Show up. And even if you don't give me back personally, plant that seed somewhere else. Because when I give that seed, that grain, it is up to you. So even if you don't give me back anything, make sure that you are bearing fruit. That if you should go to Australia right now, you are taking that and you're planting it over there. So each opportunity that we get is to plant a seed or a grain on what somebody is pouring. Oftentimes people plant the negative things when positive things is more. Right? So you have the opportunity every single time. I want to say this because we have the opportunity every single time. It's not really what we created. God chose to give us this extra overtime because overtime means extra. You're working overtime means extra, 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 right? But God chose to give us time. You don't believe me? It's not because we got to go to work or school or feed the husband or feed the family or clean the house or go on vacation while we up. It doesn't have nothing to do with the fact that we have a plan. We have something written down somewhere. We would like to go here. We got goals. We got purpose. Nothing. It don't have nothing to do with that. It's because God chose. It was a choice of God to wake us up and say, listen, I'm choosing to give you this time. Hello. What are we choosing to do with the time? Uh-huh. It's a choice. God chose to give us this time. Yeah. God could say, hey, I'm choosing not to give you no more time because I gave you time. I gave you extra time. I gave you overtime. But what did you do with the time? So once God choose something, we have the responsibility to choose something with that time that's given to us. Are we working overtime with what God gave us, with the time that God gave us? What are we doing with that time? Because right now, I keep on saying that I have extra time. That God, thank you, you gave me extra time. I keep on saying, like, God, if you listen to my channel just about every morning, I put a gratitude post every morning because I don't take my time for granted and I don't take my life for granted. No, I am grateful that God saw it fit to choose to wake me up. Choose, like, I'm waking you up today. Now, what do you choose to do with the time that I gave you? So we got to work overtime. So I asked you, what are you doing? What are you doing with your overtime? Because we are really on overtime. Sometimes we hear the word borrow time. When you go over a certain amount of time, like, and we hear this like when people reach like 100, they're like, oh, you living on borrow time. No, baby, you're living on borrow time every single time. Every single waking moment is overtime. So when you get to 100, like, oh my God, like you live to be 100, like you living on borrow time, that's overtime. That is overtime. Let me tell you something. I would like to sit with somebody that's 100. I would like to sit in their presence, sit by their leg, talk, gather some wisdom from them. Like, let's talk about you being 100. Let's talk about this. I would love to sit next to somebody who's 100. Honey, when you reach over half, because that's a century, when you reach half a century, you grab somebody over half a century now. And if you find somebody half a century that got some wisdom, stick with them, stick with them, stick with them, because not everybody reach half a century got some wisdom. They just blah, blah, blah. They don't have wisdom, but you want to be with somebody next to you when you're working overtime. You want to be with people with full wisdom. You want to be with people with wisdom. So when God chooses to give us overtime, these are the following things. She's 104. She's 104. Lord of mercy, bless her heart. Talking about that before we go into my God, 104. She's really an overtime, honey. She is really an overtime. That's what we're saying. Overtime. What have you done in this time that God chose? God chose. This was God's choice to let Cheryl's great grand aunt live to be 104. That is God's choice. That's not her choice to say, I want to be. No, I choose to do with what God gave me. God chose to give 104 chapters. My goodness. Her father lived to, whoa. What kind of God? Oh my goodness. In Jamaica term, Cheryl. Oops. In Jamaica term, they would say, these are long livers. These are long livers. In Jamaica, they're like, you are long livers. When you pass 100, like you are long livers. But let me tell you something. God bless them because God chose to give them 102 and 104. Oh my goodness. Her father was 100. So she outlived her father by 2 more years. God chose like, oh, I'm going to give you 2 more years past your father. My Lord. Let me tell you something God chose. But let me tell you something. I'm going to drop a few things here that when God chooses to give us this day, we must choose something. We must choose. Give us this day our daily bread. But when God say, I choose to give us this day, these I'm gonna drop maybe 6 things, maybe 5 things of what we should choose to do with our day. Okay. First of all, let us choose to be happy. Choose. God choose to give us a day. Let us choose to be happy. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. That simple means one word: be happy. Hello? One word: be happy. This is the day the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Be happy. One word. Rejoice. Be glad. Put those two together, you get happiness. Don't I see people walking around just like frown, filling up their face, frown, full up their body, like frown just everywhere. Because you know, when you frown, it affects your entire body. And when you're happy, it affects your entire body too. It affects your entire body. So let us, number one, choose happiness. Choose happiness. If you are watching and you're coming in for the first time, we have VIPers here and they take great notes. So if you are not paying attention, if you are listening to me, pay attention also to the chat because our VIPers take notes. So whatever you see me say, most of the time, at all time, they jot it down in the comment section. So the first thing that we are going to do when God choose to give us overtime, choose happiness. That is number one. Choose happiness. Choose loving. Choose to love on people. Choose to love on yourself, and then choose and let that love on yourself branch out. Just like me watching my father, my mother, as they plant a tree and the tree start growing sturdy. And then all of a sudden, branches start form. Branches and branches here and branches there and branches there and branches all over. And once you start having branches, that is what it is. When we start growing on fertile ground, what is going to happen? We are going to have branches. And when we have branches, most likely little leaves gonna form, and then we are gonna bear fruit. So the second thing that we want to do with our overtime is to choose to love. Choose love. They say love covers all. Hello. If love covers all, every single thing that we are going through, and we start loving on ourselves, we start loving on God. When we start loving on God and loving on ourselves, our happiness is going to expand. Then we start loving on each other. When we start loving on each other, you will see, my goodness, what a better world it is with love in it. Love on each other. Love each other. Love yourself. Get up every day. As we said, choose happiness. Choose loving you. Because when you choose loving you, you are more happy. You're so happy that you go outside or you talk on the phone. Listen, somebody's gonna feel it. It's gonna reach somebody. Let me tell you something. I like to talk about me. Yes, I do. Sometimes I talk about my childhood, and sometimes I talk about my recent story of the things that happened into me. I like to talk about my story because nobody can talk about my story about me. And I told you I can talk about my family. Yeah. Let me tell you something. Sometimes I work on the phone. Okay. My job requires for me to be on the phone. And sometimes when I get on the phone, I say, good morning. So if you listen to my shorts, that's the same energy that I put on my shorts. It's the same energy when I'm on my job on the phone. And I'm giving them the same boost on their call. Let me tell you something. Sometimes they're like, oh my God, they forgot what, sometimes I even forgot what I call them for. And just the energy of me loving myself and the energy of me choosing to be happy, I share it with those who are on the other end of the call. And believe me, when I finish a phone call, my oh my is a whole different lifestyle. is a whole different energy going on their journey. So choose to love yourself and others, because you see, happiness contagious. Love is contagious. Let us infect somebody with our love and our happiness. The next thing that we want to do, the next thing is that what we want to do, what we want to choose to do, choose to have hope. Sometimes we go through so much situation, we go through circumstances, and we go through this, we're having that, we're having stress. But if we choose to love and we choose happiness, we are going to choose. The next thing that we're going to do is to choose to have hope. Everything in life is a choice. And when we choose to have hope, simply means it is going to resonate on the decision that we make. Because when we choose to have hope, we are holding up our head a little bit more. Because what circumstances will put our head down, and when circumstances put our head down, we just like, oh, we give up. Don't you give up. Don't give up. I'm here to encourage somebody right now. Don't you give up on yourself, on your dream, on your vision, on God. Because when God woke us up, He said, listen, choose. But please choose not to give up. Choose to have hope. Because hope is just that little key that will push you to love, and it will push you to happiness. So everything works together. When we work together, I told you, we will be stronger. So when we work to have that hope, when we choose to have hope, you will see that the hope is a little light, is a little beam. It's like a little beamer, right? So when we choose to have hope, you will see that life is better for us. Do not give up on God. Do not, at no circumstances, give up on God, because that's the reason why we are here. Whether you're watching the live or the replay, that's the reason why you're here, because God never gave up. God did not give up on us, because here we are. So I want to say to you, you are not just here because you had plans. You're here because God chose to bring you here. God worked overtime. Like I told you, God worked overtime for Cheryl's family. 104 years. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. Gratefulness. Come on, somebody. When I tell you, when I say be grateful, come on, somebody. There's always something to be grateful for. Grateful? Hello. So next thing that we're going to talk about is choose to be kind. The next thing that we're going to choose, because when God chooses, God chose us like, I'm waking you up. So each day that we get, the next thing that we want to do is to choose to be kind. And everything that I talk about is to start with self. When we start with self, you will see that it will spread across the border. It will spread around the world. So when we are kind to ourselves, have a healthy lifestyle. And a healthy lifestyle don't only mean what you eat. Let us adjust our lifestyle mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, socially. Physically simply mean what you eat. So lifestyle is a important factor when we're choosing to be kind to ourselves. When I am kind to myself, not that I'm so kind to myself, no, I'm so loving to myself, no, I'm so hopeful. What is going to happen? No, I'm expanding it to you. I am sharing that with you, because what I have so much. And it says, share from your overflow. Honey, I am sharing from my overflow, because I am so kind to myself. You what? I've been on this show for the past 341 episodes. And I'm telling you, each time I am so kind to myself. I'm like, listen, girl, this is how we're going to do this. I know I started out shaking, but I am not dwelling on that, because if I keep on dwelling on the fact that episode 1, I was really shaky, I was really nervous, I am not being kind to myself. So now I am so grateful to myself that I never gave up. I choose. I choose to show up. I choose not to give up. I choose. I'm like, no, I choose. Okay. I choose. So choose to be grateful. Choose to be, the next one is choose to be kind. Choose to be kind to thyself and to be kind to somebody else. Kindness is not about you giving me money. Kindness is not always about monetary thing. Kindness is about maybe you give a smile. Okay? The next one, what we're gonna do is the next choice is choose to be faithful. Choose to be faithful. Choose to be faithful. The other one sharing was choose to be kind. Choose to be faithful. Oh my God, being faithful, what it is? Being faithful simply means I have a responsibility. I am going to come in and I am going to do what I'm responsible to do. So whether you're in a relationship, a friendship, oathship, yeah, oathship is a new word. You want to get it, take it, and go. Whether I am oasting, whether I am going to my job, wherever I am going, I am faithful to my job. I am faithful to, you are faithful to your children. You're faithful to your husband, to your wife. You're faithful to your destiny. You're faithful to God. Simply mean, God, you choose to wake me up. I am going to choose to do that which you wake me up to do. So therefore, I am going to be faithful in all that you hand me to do. You hand me time. I'm going to be faithful in everything that I do. Why is that so important? It is important because it is sure that we are loyal to that which was given to us. It's the same thing. If you are married and you are faithful to your spouse, that means you take on the responsibility to do what was given to you. A wife was given to you. Be responsible to do your husbandly duty. A husband was given to you. Be responsible to do your wifely duty. There is nobody controlling nobody. It's everybody pick up their own responsibility. That's what faithfulness means. So choose to be faithful is the next one. Okay? So we have, that's the final one. So we have choose to be faithful, choose to be kind, choose to be grateful, choose to have hope, choose to love. What's the other one? And choose to be happy. Choose. The choice we make today is going to affect us one way or the other. Okay? One way or the other, it is going to affect us. And because it is going to affect us, I would like to give the solution to all of this choice. All of this thing is the solution that I will drop here is for us to think on these things. Think very much on these things. I oftentimes says that I don't do a lot of thinking because I'm so saturated in the choice that I make. I am so saturated with the fact that God chose to wake me up. So I'm so saturated. So I don't do a lot of thinking. It might sound whatever, but I don't do a lot of thinking because I am embedded in God to know that which He gave me to do. I am going to do it. And I'm going to like, God, what you want me to do, I'm going to do it. Okay. So when we ask God, what is that you want us to do? Let us do it. So think on these things. As we think on these things, let us not think on the past, but let us think on the now, on the future, because it's the now that will roll into the future. And what happened? We will have greater results when we roll into the future. So think now and think future, because when we do that, what will happen? Our kindness, our faithfulness, our gratitude, our hope, our love. What's the other one? Our love, our happiness will show. So thank you so much. But before we go, thank you so much for tuning in. But before we go, I want to say that we want to, two of our a singer and actor left us this week. So we want to stop for a moment as we say, sleep on in peace. Frankie Beverly, and as well as James Earl Jones. That voice. Anybody remember James Earl Jones? He had that voice. And Frankie Beverly, before I let you go. Right. I don't be doing all that stuff, but Frankie did that song. So if you don't know that song, that was one of the songs that I think that's like in the 90s. That was like a signature song before I let you go. But as they go on out of this space called Earth, I want to say this is your opportunity right now as a living being to choose one, two, or three, or four of these because God gave you overtime. Don't let your overtime go to waste. Each time you invest in something, you are going to get a return. As Cheryl put it up in the front, if you invest love, you're going to get back love. Whatever you invest, you're going to get it back. So I want to say to you, thank you so very much for tuning in into this episode of the Question Life Show. Again, I am your host, Verona Willis-Brown. That is me.